All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to share today's lesson. I'm just going to wait a few more people to join, but I see Abraham, Lisa, Tina, Ron, Adam. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm also live on Facebook, so I'll be looking over here for questions as well. I'm going to be going through kind of outlining. This will be a great lesson today for both those of you who are brand new. You know, you've never sold anything on Amazon. You're looking to make your first 10,000 in 2023. I'll definitely share you how to do that. But I hope also for those of you who maybe are in the process of launching a product, you're one of my students, you've already launched a product, hopefully you will get some value out of this too. So I'm just going to wait just a couple more, like 30 seconds, and then I'll go ahead and start the training. All right. Just a few more seconds, guys, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for everyone for joining me today. You're welcome to ask questions. I'll see both here on Facebook, on YouTube, and in the Zoom chat. I'll try to get to your questions as we go through the presentation and through the training and class, but also towards the very end of the training, we'll also have Q&A, time for Q&A, so you'll be able to ask questions there as well. But I look forward to connecting with you. I need to do these lives more often because I love being able to direct communication with so many of you all at once. But Adam, thank you for being here. Frederick, thank you for being here. Abraham, Lisa, Tina, Ron, Jeremy, Tam, Pamela, Tommy. Thank you guys for joining me. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I think a few more people may come in and I'll try to let them in. Let me open the chat here so I have that. Yes, Abraham, I will be recording this training. It will be recorded automatically here on Zoom and then reposted on my YouTube channel. So yes, if you have to leave the training at any point, you have something going on, you can absolutely go back to my YouTube channel to watch it. And I may even upload it to my website, so you'll be able to access it there as well. So yes, if you do have to leave the training, it will be recorded so you can re-access it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know if you're able to see this screen. You can just type yes if you're able to see it. For those of you who are on the Zoom and on YouTube. Yes, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know you can see the screen. So let's jump into it. So today we're going to be going over a masterclass in training. It's a webinar, basically going over how to make your first $10,000 on Amazon. Hopefully this will be really, really helpful for those of you who've never sold any products on Amazon. You're brand new. You've heard about Amazon, but you're really not sure, is it still profitable? Can this still work? Should I still be, starting Amazon FBA, or should I be looking at other business models, drop shipping, wholesale model, online retail arbitrage? I want to cover that in today's training, but also I want this to be helpful for those of you who are in the process of launching a product or you've already launched a product. I think all of you will get value out of this. It's going to be a complete training. So I'm happy to have you guys here. There's just a few more people that are joining. And then I want to start. Okay, good. Let's jump into it. So how to go from zero to making your first $10,000 on Amazon with private label. Let's go over what you're going to learn today. Okay, so what you're going to learn today, I promise it'll be worth your time. By the end of this, you'll know more than most $1,000 courses because there's going to be a lot of good secret strategies in here, techniques that are usually only taught when you pay somebody, to be in their course and whatnot. So you'll get lots of value out of this training. So Amazon FBA business model, I want to go over that versus other online business model, why I still believe Amazon FBA is still the best. Budget, how much do you need to get started to launch your first product? I want to go over that. Setting up your Amazon seller account, I wanted to get you prepared for that. Again, we're just going over everything that you'll need to launching that first product, to scaling your business and your product and your brand to hit that $10,000 or more revenue by the first, let's say the first quarter, second quarter max of 2023. For those of you who are trying to get started right away, it's a little bit late for Q4. Sometimes we can make it in time. Amazon still accepts your shipment year round, so you can send it inventory whenever you want. And right now I'm seeing check-in times 2 to 4 weeks to check in products. So it's not too long if you can get your products to the Amazon warehouse. But for the majority of you, you're going to be launching in Q1, January, February, March, which is fine. There's still plenty of demand in those months for most products. And the main thing to watch out for there is Chinese New Year. So February, actually January, I think it starts January 23rd of this year. Most suppliers are going to shut down January 23rd, between January 23rd and January 28th, all the way till March 1st. That's Chinese New Year. No orders go in, no orders go out. So you want to plan around that for launching your product. I'm going to go over product research, how and where to find winning products. Being a part of launching so many products and helping my students launch products, launching my own products, done for you clients products, I see what's working the best right now, what types of products and categories are working the best. And so I want to share, which categories are the best, how I'm finding successful, profitable products. I'll go over that as well. And then we'll talk about manufacturers and suppliers, how to find a good supplier for your product. We'll go over creating your product listing. What do you need to actually add the product listing? Amazon has made it harder, definitely have made it harder for sellers to create their listing now. They're requiring some different things. So we just want to make sure that you're all prepared for that. And we are going to go over product launch strategies that actually work. What's working right now for launching your product when it comes time to start selling. Your products arrive at Amazon. You've got, a third or half of the inventory checked in and available. Your listing is all done. It's active. Again, you have, let's say, 30 to 100 units available. It's time to launch the product. You don't want to wait too long, because as soon as your listing goes active and you have inventory available for sale, listing is active, inventory available equals honeymoon period starts. So I want you to take full advantage of the honeymoon period and not waste that. We'll talk about how to rank your products on page 1 so customers actually see it and buy it. Reviews, most of you probably already know how reviews and why reviews are so critical for Amazon FBA, because it's a social platform. Customers want to see that there's other customers. Customers want to see other people have bought your product. They don't want to be the first to buy a brand new product when there's no feedback or social proof. So reviews, how to get reviews, how to get positive reviews, because that's a challenge. How to run profitable Amazon PPC campaigns. A lot of different tools and techniques and strategies when it comes to Amazon PPC. So many different strategies out there, but I want to dive into what are the best types of campaigns that work right now, so you don't have to spend a ton of money on PPC and you have profitable campaigns the fastest. Okay, how to scale your products to 15 to 25 sales per day and beyond, and when to launch your second or third product. And tip here, variations are key. Variations make it really easy to just replicate what already worked on your first product, right? So you can launch a variation because you already have the supplier set up. And you basically just launch a color, quantity type, like a 2-pack. You can do a bundle. You can do a design. You can do style, or even just item name and call it something different and just change something slightly about it. So I'll talk about that. And then we'll have time at the end, guys, for a Q&A. I want to be able to answer all of your questions. Okay, so let's just go in a little bit about myself. My name is Brian Noonan. For those of you who don't know me, I know I've seen several people who've registered for today's training that have not really heard about me, or maybe they just came across me on social media recently. So let me just go a little bit of backstory about myself. So I'm a recovered drug addict, struggled with drug addiction for many years before going to rehab, and I've been clean and sober now for 8.5 years. Drug addiction, I don't wish that on anybody. It's extremely difficult to deal with, but getting clean and sober was the best decision of my life besides starting entrepreneurship. That was the second best decision I ever made. I left rehab with one main goal 8.5 years ago, to work on myself every single day and to never use drugs again. And I've happily been able to achieve that goal or goals and beyond. So that's kind of what I left rehab with. One main goal, not use drugs and improve myself and my life. Live in Washington State, about 3 hours from Seattle, close with my mom, dad, sister here in Washington State. I've always had an entrepreneurial bug. As a kid, I think I was around 12 years old. I started a lawn mowing business using my riding lawnmower. I towed behind it the push mower, and a weed eater on top of that, and went around to my neighborhood, to other, neighbors' houses, knocked on the door. Hey, $20 to mow your yard. And I actually signed up, I think 4 or 5 people at one time during the summer, and it was great side money. And and I've always worked hard because my mom instilled that in me. I grew up in the hospitality industry, which is, bussing tables, bartending, serving people, working banquets and parties and weddings. I grew up in kind of that world. And so I've always kind of been a people person, people pleaser, and liked working with people and taking care of people. That's kind of the hospitality industry. And then I worked in the food and hospitality industry as a banquet manager and bartender at a local winery and a state vineyard here in Washington State. I worked there for about 5.5 years. But although I did enjoy working as a bartender and banquet manager, I wasn't making more than about maybe $2,000 every 2 weeks. I know a lot of you guys, maybe are in that same boat. It's like, $1,500 to $3,000 every couple of weeks. It's certainly barely enough to live on, and hard because you're living paycheck to paycheck. So I wanted so badly to be financially free, to set up a business where I didn't have to rely on that paycheck every 2 weeks. And, not to have my own time. You're set by a schedule. You have a boss telling you when to be there, when you have to work, what you have to act like at work, and all these different things. So I wanted freedom, both time and be financially free were the two main driving forces for me in entrepreneurship and starting my Amazon business. So to live life on my own terms. I'm sure many of you can relate out there. Either you don't like your boss, you're tired of your job. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to, just climb the corporate ladder for the rest of your life. There's other options out there, even though most of your parents and friends and family are not going to support you in the beginning, going down the entrepreneurial path, side hustle, online business, entrepreneurship. It's still kind of online money. It's still kind of a new field. And I think it's going to take a long time for parents and grandparents to catch on to, how much opportunity there truly is out there, and that we really don't have to climb the corporate ladder. You don't have to climb the corporate ladder for the rest of your life just to retire at 65 and hopefully have enough money to live on, right? So we don't want that. So let's talk about one thing, though, that you can never waste money on, and that is improving yourself. Becoming the best version of yourself is your duty and obligation, both for yourself. Become the best version of yourself should be one of your main goals. This can be reading self-improvement books. Here's a 3 that I like. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was a book that influenced me early on. I really liked that book. The 10X Rule, Be Obsessed, Be Average, The One Thing. These are all entrepreneur business books. They really helped me. So I really dove into self-improvement books, watching motivational videos as often as I could. Because you can make a living working a job, but you can make a fortune working on yourself. Okay, so it's your duty to become the best version of yourself. And honestly, your family is counting on you. So maybe they're not supporting you right now, going down the Amazon path or starting entrepreneurship, but it's your job to prove them wrong. And you certainly can do that. Amazon still provides a lot of opportunity for sellers who do that. So then I came across Amazon FBA and e-commerce, watching YouTube videos, actually on Warren Buffett one day. I was in my room before work and I saw a video, up next video, a recommended video on YouTube, talking about this couple. They had made $10,000 selling their own private label products on Amazon. And I clicked on that and the rest is history. So now I've launched 12 products myself, started and scaled 3 brands, trademark brands on Amazon, and I've helped launch nearly 500 products, worked with sellers and brands doing anywhere from $1,000 a month up to $1 million per month on Amazon. I've every type of seller in between. I've helped generate over $25 million in sales in Amazon through my own products and through my client and student products. Started my YouTube channel where I release videos every single week, trying to help and provide tutorials, how-to videos, using Helium-10, how to find products, how to find keywords, all of that on my YouTube channel. Built Noonan University, which is honestly the best mentorship program out there, because I bought a course in the very beginning, wasn't thrilled with it, was kind of tricked, you would say, because they told me it came with mentorship and I'd get one-on-one help, when really it was just a package of videos to watch. And then I think it came with one group call a month, but I never joined those. And even if I did, you can't really share your product idea in group calls because there's dozens or possibly even hundreds of other people in those group calls. You can't share your product in there with the mentor or coach. Those other sellers are going to steal it. So I never believed in those group calls and just packaging videos and selling that. So that's why I started Union University and offered my mentorship, was to be the one-on-one, to offer the one-on-one coaching and mentorship that I do today, to help mentor and coach a few students on the side each month, working with just 4 to 6 students on the side each month, on the side of running my own Amazon business. Okay, now that I've just shared a little backstory about me, let's go over the Amazon FBA business models. Because for those of you there, if you're new, you may not know that there's different ways to sell on Amazon. There's not just Amazon FBA. I started with this one, Amazon Online Retail Arbitrage. Amazon Online Retail Arbitrage is essentially where you're finding products at a discount, such as I use jet.com, overstock.com, eBay. You buy like 5 baby blankets. I think baby blankets or a track phone were the first things I ever sold on Amazon. And I bought 5 muslin baby blankets for $10 each off eBay. And then they sell on Amazon for $39.99. And so I bought those 5 baby blankets from eBay, got them shipped to my house. Then you list them on the other brand's listing, the other seller's listing. It's a bigger brand. So you list the product on the other seller's listing. Then you print out the F and SKU, you label it on those 5 baby blankets. Then you create a shipping plan and you ship those into Amazon. And then basically all you control is the price to get the buy box. And I sold it like that. So I bought it for 10, sold it for 40 each. But there's some fees in there, but I was still profiting, $20 per blanket. So that's the first thing I ever sold. And I just repeated that process with track phones and all types of weird things. There was like Hoover parts, like vacuum cleaning parts that I sold. There was a software called Tactical Arbitrage that helped me find these products. But that's actually how I got started, was online retail arbitrage. That's essentially where you're flipping products for a profit. It's time consuming, guys. It's a great way to learn. So that's the good thing about that. It's a great way to learn how to list products, how to label products, how to do a shipping plan, how to send them into Amazon, all of that. You can actually just take your seller account app on your phone and scan any product in the store, in Walmart, wherever you're at. Just take your seller account app out, click the barcode icon in the top right, and you can scan any product in Walmart, and it'll actually tell you how much it's selling for on Amazon, and if you're allowed to sell it, and what kind of price it's selling at, and potential profit margins. That's the retail arbitrage method. It's a good way to learn Amazon. The problem is it's time consuming. You have to be packaging and labeling and shipping products yourself. And it's limited because you can only buy 5 baby blankets. There's not 500 available, or there's only 3 track phones available on eBay. I can't buy 3,000. So that's the issue there. Amazon wholesale, this is essentially where you're getting approval and permissions from other brands. You're selling their products on Amazon. There are some sellers that do very well doing Amazon wholesale. The margins are much slimmer than private label because, again, you don't really control the listing. A lot of times you're selling on the listing that the other brand already has, which can be good, which can be bad. You only control the price. So that can be the problem with Amazon wholesale. Also, constantly getting permission from other brands can be challenging. A lot of the times they already have partnerships with sellers, and so they're not looking to add on other sellers. And there are some companies out there that do wholesale and help buy, distributors that you can buy products from as well. But margins are low, and constantly having to get approval from other brands is challenging. And you only control, very limited amount on the listing. You don't own the listing in a lot of the cases for a wholesale, and you really just control the price. Drop shipping, I'd stay away from this model. It's not allowed on Amazon for the most part. There are some exceptions if you're doing like a business price and you're creating your own listing and drop shipping from drop shipping TOS compliant wise. But for the majority of you out there, I don't recommend drop shipping on Amazon at all. The other drop shipping method, though, does kind of work, which is Shopify, where you set up a Shopify store. Let's say you want to sell an electric fireplace for the winter. We're going into Q4. So you find like an electric fireplace on AliExpress that you can pay $20 per fireplace, but it sells on your Shopify store for $75. You create a Shopify page or website. You put your product there. Every time an order comes in, you send it to your supplier. and then the supplier ships it to the customer. Shipping times can be very long coming from China. If you ship products into the US, you can do a little bit faster shipping times. So drop shipping on your own Shopify store does work, but you have to learn Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, Instagram and Facebook ads, because nobody knows about your website. So you have to drive all the traffic there. Nobody's going to just go visit your website. Like on Amazon, you have potentially millions of customers you can reach automatically. So that's the difference between wholesale model, online retail arbitrage model, drop shipping model, Walmart. Do I recommend selling on Walmart? Yes. After you launch your first 3 products on Amazon, you're brand registered, then I'd absolutely sell your products on Walmart. And I'd also recommend your own Shopify store. So Shopify is not just for drop shipping. You can, after you've launched your first 3 products, you're brand registered, you want to set up your own Shopify store, and then you can fulfill the orders right through your Amazon inventory at Amazon. You can use the inventory that's at Amazon, your FBA inventory, for the Shopify orders. And Amazon now has an option for blank shipping boxes. So they'll come in a blank box versus it won't be Amazon. And that's kind of a way you can get started. Multiple channel fulfillment, MCF, fulfilling orders like that on your own Shopify store. So that's interesting. Or of course, you can find a 3PL. You can find a 3PL and have them ship your orders as well. So Lee, thank you for joining me. Christopher, thank you for being here. Sarah, thank you for joining me. Adam, what's this training about? The training today, guys, is going over Amazon FBA. It's a masterclass on how to make your first 10,000 on Amazon. It's going to cover a variety of things. We're going over, it's going to be helpful for those of you who are brand new, never sold anything, all the way up to you've never sold anything, or you've sold on Amazon and you're looking to scale. Everyone in between will get value out of the training. Okay, so just some student results and testimonials. You know, this is kind of an industry standard where you need to see that the coach or mentor knows what they're talking about, that they're actually selling on Amazon. And one way we do that is by showing student results. I can put up my product results all day, but is he actually a good teacher? Am I a good teacher? Do I coach people well? And am I getting others' results? That's huge. And so I wanted to put up these screenshots of some of my students' results. This is 3 out of 300. I could create, 310, 100 different pages like this of testimonials. I've had lots of students do extremely well. I have new students launching their first product all the time, doing very, very well. How long does it take for them to be profitable? And have any of them been able to quit their job? Yes, the answer to the second one is yes. I've had dozens of students quit their job and now sell on Amazon full time. And when are they profitable? That's going to come down to your product, your profit margins, and how well a job you do at launching it and ranking it, right? So some products will be profitable week number 3, week 2, they're profitable because you're selling at a super high price. Your margins are really good. You've just barely had to spend very little on PPC to rank the product. You haven't had to do a bunch of giveaways. The product just takes off. I've had students become profitable week 2, week 3. Other times, and I'd say this is more common, you should expect it to be around 1 to 3 months before you're seeing consistent profits. In the first 3 months of starting your Amazon business, you have to be reinvesting your profits, the money that Amazon's paying you, to be reordering more inventory, launching additional products. And so that's why having like a 3-month time frame is really good. So you're not discouraged if you're a month in and you're not profiting. This is a really good opportunity still, but it does take around 3 months before you're really seeing consistent profits. So I hope that kind of clears up some of that. And Holly, Holly is doing really well. Greg, he's on track to do $1 million, which is crazy. I just received an updated message from him. Annie, she sold, 443 units in 30 days. Again, they had never sold, these 3 had never sold on Amazon before. They launched their first product following my coaching, and I'm so happy to see them doing so well. Now let's go over roadblocks, excuses, and the most common reasons I see people not start, and maybe you're facing some of these too, holding you back: money, time, competition, fear. I want to break these down. Maybe it's money that's holding you back from starting Amazon. Maybe it's time. Maybe you don't think you have enough time to start your Amazon business. So I want to go over that. How much time does it actually take running your Amazon business, both now you're not started and after you launch? Competition, there's too much competition. Amazon FBA is dead. New sellers can't enter the market. I've heard all those excuses since I first started selling on Amazon 3 years ago. That has always been around. So I want to go over that. And then fear, this could be fear of losing money, fear of failure, fear of looking stupid around your friends and family because it didn't work. The first product didn't work and you were so invested into it, these types of things. So the main thing though, guys, to focus on is these are really excuses because those who do take action are going to see results. You can wait another year, another 6 months and have hundreds of more sellers to compete with, or decide to take action and start building your, dream life, become financially free with Amazon. There's constantly new sellers, always launching new products. And so a lot of times you could find a really good product, but if it takes you 3, 4, 5 months to launch, the market can change. There can be hundreds of new sellers, not hundreds, but dozens and dozens of new sellers who've entered that market, and it could be too saturated. So that's why I highly recommend taking action and trying to get the product launched within 1, 2, or 3 months after you find it and find a manufacturer. Number one, money. How much does it actually cost to start Amazon? You can launch your first private label product for around $4,000. For some of you, it may be closer to $5,000, $6,000, depending if you get a trademark, you need to pay somebody to build your website, you want to go all out with protecting your images and your packaging design with copyrights, these types of things. But all for around $4,000 is what I'm seeing as kind of the average right now for launching your first product. It can be a little less, can be a little more. It depends on the product, how much inventory you order, and how much you have to invest, right? So do you need to go more conservative on your budget, or can you afford to spend all out in the beginning? But $4,000 is a good amount. The main cost, and the good thing about the $4,000, guys, is you don't need that. Like if you start selling on Amazon, you decide I'm going to start selling on Amazon, I'm going to start it today. You don't need all $4,000 tomorrow. You only have to put a 30% deposit down to your supplier to start production. The most is 50%. So the big cost will be inventory to, for 500 units at $8, $10 per unit. You don't have to put all of it up front. Usually it's just a 30 or a 50% deposit. And then the other 70% after 30 days, 45 days after the inspection is done. And then the DDP shipping will be paid for at that time as well. This is kind of just a breakdown of kind of an overview of how much it costs to start. It depends on your product. What's the unit cost? C shipping DDP, this is going to depend on how many products you have. What's the size and weight of the shipment? Photos, images can be $200 to $500 for 7 to 9 professional listing images and editing and text and graphic overlays. Logo, packaging design, thank you card, $100 for those. Can be a little more depending on who you have do it, but Fiverr is great. Inspection is going to be $165. You want to always send a third-party inspection to your factory to inspect your products. This is after the production is done. The supplier says, hey, your products are done. We're just about done. You want to go on to Inspect Demand's website, book the $165 inspection called the pre-shipment quality control inspection. And then the Inspect Demand will call your factory. They'll go to the factory. They'll set up a day. They'll do a full inspection. It's actually a random sample inspection, but they do check around 30% of all the inventory, pulling out random samples from your products and cartons. And then they check for over like 100 different things. Like I could go on and on about all the different points they check. So you don't have to tell them, hey, look for this and look for that. They already have like 100 different things they check for. And then in the inspection report you get, it's got photos, detailed images, test results of the testing they did with your product. So really nice there. Pictures of the factory gate. I mean, it goes really, really in depth. GS1 barcode, you can either get one GTI in for $30, or maybe you plan on launching multiple products. Go ahead and buy, 10 UPCs for $250. So that's going to be a cost. Trademark, again, is around $800. You can do this with LegalZoom or trademarkia.com. I have had some students file the trademark themselves for about half of this cost on the USPTO.gov website. That's an option too. But the main reason we get trademark, guys, is number one, to protect your brand. Once you get a trademark on your brand, no one else can sell that product with your brand on it. They'd be infringing on your trademark, and it's called IP infringement once your trademark is published, not while it's pending. But once the trademark is published in roughly 8 to 12 months, then you're fully protected. No one else can sell your product with your brand on it, or you can sue them because that's IP infringement. You can make a case against Amazon, they'll take them down, that type of stuff. But you don't need to wait 8 to 12 months to get brand registry, which is the other main reason we get a trademark. For Amazon brand registry, you can get this like within a week after you file the trademark. You just need the serial number from your attorney or the USPTO serial number for your trademark, and then you plug that into the brand registry approval application, and Amazon will grant you brand registry. When do you do that? I recommend doing this after your listing is created or right after you launch. You actually need an ASIN created in the Amazon system, and you also need a product with logo on it and packaging with logo on it, and having a website set up too helps. Okay, we're blowing right through here, guys. Okay, time. How much time does it actually take to launch your first product? You can spend just a few hours per week and launch your first product. I'd say, an hour a day, 5 days a week, you can make this work. 1 to 3 weeks should be the time frame for product research, depending on if you have somebody helping you or not, able to bounce ideas off a mentor or coach. 2 to 4 weeks then for finding a manufacturer, ordering custom samples, and getting those custom samples. 2 to 5 weeks for production time, called lead time, for 500 to 1,000 units. 30 to 45 days for sea shipping DDP, just depends on what shipping method you go with. 1 to 2 weeks for the products to actually get checked in at Amazon and before you have enough inventory to launch. And then launch, the time frame for launch is roughly 3 to 5 weeks, where you'll need to be pretty involved during that time, monitoring your organic ranking, monitoring your PPC campaigns, monitoring your listing for customer reviews and feedback and questions on your listing and answering those. And the main things to focus on after you launch are organic keyword ranking, getting reviews, sales velocity, and Amazon PPC. Those are the main ones to focus on. And again, just an hour, 2 hours a day, 3-5 days a week. And then after you move out of the launch phase and you're really just reordering, it gets cut in half. Instead of spending an hour or 2 a day, 5 days a week, you can spend, an hour or 2 a day, 2 days a week to manage the business. But it just depends on if you're launching new products. Now, I launched the products on my own. I always launch my own products and set up the campaigns. And then I have 2 VAs on my team, virtual assistants, who help me manage my campaigns post-launch. But I like to do all the campaigns and launch myself. And then for the day-to-day management, I use VAs and Atomic. And you can actually find some very skilled VAs in the Philippines or India or Pakistan, anywhere that can help you manage your PPC. But I do recommend learning PPC in the beginning yourself. At least get the fundamentals. Learn the fundamentals of how do I set up an automatic? How do I set up a manual keyword targeting? How do I set up a product targeting campaign? How do I go in and look at the data? How many impressions did I get? How many clicks did I get? How much did I spend? How many sales did I make? Get the fundamentals under control, and then you can hire a VA to help you. Because otherwise, if you just outsource it right away, you don't know if what they're doing is good. And so you want to have a good understanding there. Competition. Is there too much competition on Amazon, or is there room for new sellers? So when I first started, I had no idea that half the products sold on Amazon are actually from third-party sellers. Half of all the products sold on Amazon are from third-party sellers. And there's lots of sellers actually making over $100,000 per year. So if I saw all this, why couldn't I do the same? There are 1.9 million third-party sellers. 14% make $100,000 to $500,000 a year. 6% make $500,000 to $1 million per year. That's over 380,000 sellers that make $100,000 to $1 million per year on Amazon. Selling on Amazon can be extremely profitable. You just have to know how to pick the right products and have the right information. It's really a compounding effect. The hardest part, guys, is going to be getting started. Launching that first product is always the hardest, but then it's like evergreen. It's easily repeatable. You just keep launching additional products, and before you know it, you have 3 products under your brand, each making anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month in profit, and you're going to be able to quit your job. Which, like I did, I had just launched my 3rd product and was able to quit my job. Fear, another big one is fear. So best way to overcome this, if I just have to give you some tips really quick on overcoming fear, have the right knowledge or skills, be learning from the best. Learn the information from the best by having a good mentor or coach. Watching YouTube videos from within the last 6 months, because Amazon is always changing. So watching YouTube videos, training videos like Helium 10, these are really good resources. You actually get the Freedom Ticket from Helium 10. It's a $1,000 course you get for free just by having a Helium 10 Platinum membership. And that's, again, a $1,000 course you get for free. Networking with other sellers, going to conferences, joining Amazon Facebook groups, asking questions, reading the answers and questions from other sellers and members. This is all super helpful. And then at conferences, you get to connect with others and hear motivational stories. This is super helpful. And action plus action plus action equals confidence. So the best way to gain confidence is from experience, just repeating the things over and over, or taking that first initiative to get started. Product research, how to find a winning product. Let's jump into it. So here's really the meat and potatoes of the presentation. These are really the best strategies that are working the best right now. What's working the best right now is finding low competition, strong demand products where you're one of the first 30 sellers on Amazon with that product. What does that mean? One of the first 30 sellers with that product on Amazon. That means when you find a product idea and you go onto Amazon.com and you type in that product idea, I look for a couple of things. Number one, I don't want there to be more than 1, 2, max 3 pages of that product over and over and over of that same product you're thinking of selling. Less than 3 pages. If you open up the product on Amazon and you see a bunch of random product ideas or random products, maybe the first 10 products are the actual product you found, but the rest are not, that is actually a good thing. That means there's not very many other sellers. Amazon's having a hard time displaying that product to you. So that's actually a good thing. But you would check, are there 3 pages or less of this product over and over and over? You would check the total results in the top left. Is there 1,000 or less total results? You can take about half that number. If there's 1,000 results, there's about 300 to 500 other sellers. You take about half the number of the results you see. That's a rough estimate of how many other sellers there are. So that's the other thing. So pages of results, total results. Finally, keywords. Keywords will tell you inside Cerebro, okay, there's 700 competing products. I like there to be 1,000 or less competing products on your main keyword. So maybe you find a product, the main keyword has 13,000 searches per month. 13,000 people a month are searching for this product. Competing products, 500. That's excellent. Okay. The best methods right now, guys, are TikTok, Etsy, black box keywords. Now, without diving too deep into each one of these methods, because I have several videos on my YouTube channel where I dive into using TikTok, Etsy, black box, and keywords. Let me just quickly go over kind of an overview of how you use each one of these methods to find products. TikTok, you go to TikTok.com, you type in hashtag Amazon Finds. You're going to look at the top videos there with the most views. Just let the video play, and you're going to see creators, TikTok creators, making videos on Amazon products, get ideas there. For example, you type in hashtag Amazon Finds. One of the first videos you're going to see at the top is a electric stir, like a stir that automatically stirs soup and stuff. Also, you're going to see like a silicone painting mat. So you get the product idea from TikTok, you see it in the little video, then you're going to go onto Amazon and type it in, then you're going to run X-ray, and we're going to look at the X-ray numbers, and I'll show you here next what we look for on revenue, sales, reviews, price point, brand, size, weight, that kind of stuff. Etsy is very similar. You'll go onto Etsy, you'll go into different categories like home and kitchen, storage organization, kitchen and dining. Those are really the best categories on Etsy because, tools don't work very well on Etsy. Baby products do, but Etsy is sort of limited more for home and kitchen and garden and patio lawn and garden type products. Etsy is really good for those types of products. I would absolutely still use Etsy. Some of my most successful products that have made me the most money, and same thing for my students, products that have made the most money for my students, guess where they came from? Etsy. We were on Etsy. I was on Etsy looking at different products. I saw some really high quality products there. It tells you how many sales the product has made. Let's say it's made over 500 sales. It has over 150 reviews on Etsy. Okay, it's selling well. There's a product idea. Then go on to Amazon.com, type in that product, and then we'll go through kind of the checklist here of what it should meet. But Etsy has made me more money than any other product research method. Black box, again, in black box, you just go into Helium 10, you go to black box tool, you put in some specific filters like I'll talk about here in a minute, and it's going to give you product ideas. And then you'll just go through there and then pull those up on Amazon and run X-ray. You do want to be careful though, because there's 1 million other sellers that have Helium 10. And those products can become saturated quickly. So 1 million other sellers that have helium-10. So be careful finding products in black box, but it's a great starting point. It's a great starting point. You know, you can get some good ideas in there and then maybe go down the rabbit hole method or use the storefront method, looking at those sellers, other products that they sell, new products that those other sellers have launched to get ideas. And then keywords. This is a big one, guys. You can write on Etsy, use Helium-10's tool, analyze product demand on Etsy. That works. Helium-10 tool, analyze product demand extension works on Etsy to get keyword ideas and see if there's enough demand. I like the main keywords to have over 2,000 search volume on the top 2 to 10 main keywords. You can also use like Cerebro. Actually, better would be Magnet, because Cerebro, you need an ASIN already or a product idea, but Magnet, you don't. You can just go into Magnet and type in, I'm looking for wooden shells. And then Magnet is going to give you a bunch of different, honeycomb shell. A shelf shaped like a bee. You know, there's so many different ideas you'll get with keywords. So I like that as well. But I mainly use keywords for validating demand by search volume and checking total competition. Just some tips, guys, on product research. Sellers on page 1 should be doing more than 300 sales or more, and mostly $5,000 or more in revenue. This is, again, when you type in the product on Amazon, you run X-ray. Then we're looking at the X-ray numbers from Helium-10, the extension. Do most sellers have under 350 reviews? This means it's relatively low competition. If most of the sellers are already on page 1 with under 350 reviews, that means you can also come in with low reviews and rank to page 1. I like to sell products that sell for $25 to $100. It's a variety of brands on page 1. You don't want to see that, you know, in the top spots, it's dominated by a couple brand names. Or big brands like Hasbro or KitchenAid. You know, you don't want to see that they're dominating. You want to see it's a variety of FBA brands in there making money. Sometimes for a lot of products, you open up X-ray and you'll see just there's a few brands doing really well, or just 2 brands making all the revenue, and then the other brands aren't. So look out for that. Are you able to customize the product, improve it, differentiate it to stand out? You know, you want to read your competitors' negative reviews and find out how to improve the product. What are customers complaining about? You can go through the reviews manually on your competitors' listings, or use the Helium-10 Review Insights tool and download all the 1, 2, 3-star reviews in bulk at once, and go through the reviews like that. And then you just go to your supplier and say, hey, I'd like to fix this. I'd like to fix this. I'd like to fix this or add this. Can you do that? And they say, sure, we can do number 1 and 2, but we can't do 3 and we can do 4. Then you would just have them help you design the product and fix it like that, or go onto Fiverr and hire a product designer. But that's a big one. You don't want to sell a product where you just make something just a little bit better. That used to work 2 years ago, but I'm not recommending that strategy any longer, where you find a product, you make it a little bit better, you change a little something, you put it in a nice box. You know, that can work still, but it's hard. Because if you just change 1 or 2 things, you're not really standing out. So what we want to do is find a unique product where there's low competition. There's less than 30 other sellers. Keywords, I mentioned this, 2,000 or more search volume. I like 2,000 or more search volume. Keywords tell you everything from is there enough demand to is there too much competition, and even what your next product could be that you launch. You don't sell products, you sell keywords. This is kind of a quote that I want you to remember. You don't sell products, you sell keywords. Because sure, you can find one product idea, but on Amazon, it's a search engine. It's the 2nd largest search engine after Google. Customers are either typing in a product that they're looking for or a solution to their problem. And so you want to really learn keywords and include the right keywords in your listing and in your PPC campaigns. But in this stage, the product research stage, validating demand, checking that there's not too many other sellers competing for those keywords as well. Total results, I mentioned 1,000 or less, 3 pages or less of same product over and over, and 2,000, 1,000 max total competing products on the main keywords, okay? Also, social media should be an important part of your Amazon FBA strategy. Both have social media pages like Facebook and Instagram for your brand. go save the name, go create a Facebook business page and Instagram page for the brand. It's all right if you don't start posting anything there yet. You can upload your logo as your profile image for now, but eventually you do want to start posting blog articles, helpful written words, and posts on Facebook work well. Pictures, short videos work really well. Pictures and videos on TikTok and Instagram. So social media should be an important part of your Amazon strategy. After you launch the product, you can do promotions there. You can do collaborations on Instagram. You can, post updates even as you go along the launch process. Here's what I'm working on this week on my product launch. Create a Facebook group. Maybe you're launching a health care brand for moms. Well, create a Facebook group for moms interested in their health. And you need to be a little more specific than that. Maybe it's new moms trying to be healthy during pregnancy or after pregnancy, trying to be healthy after pregnancy. So create a Facebook group and then post in there and, bring those members along the journey with you. Influencers. This sounds overwhelming, guys, but honestly, influencers are very, very powerful. Essentially, you just go onto TikTok or Instagram and you search for your product or your niche, type keywords, and you would just start reaching out to content creators making videos and ask them to do a collaboration. See if for $200 and a free product, they will make a 60-second video doing showing your product, a review of your product, comparing your product with another one, an unboxing video. It's like very natural and easy for a content creator to do that. And it can be anywhere, cost can be anywhere from free up to $5,000 a post or video. It just depends on the creator and their following and their account and how many posts you want them to do. Also have them on Instagram, post to their stories with a link directly to your Amazon listing. That can be helpful. And use a brand referral link so you get 10% commission back on those sales from Amazon, because you're driving outside traffic to Amazon, which Amazon loves, and they'll give you 10% commission back if you use a brand referral link from those customers you're sending from Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube. All right, we're cruising right along. Next, I want to talk about seller account and business setup. What you need to sign up for your Amazon seller account, you do want to sign up for the professional selling plan. That's the $39.99 a month one. It will be for North America. It's for Canada, Mexico, United States. You have to sign up for North America. You just need the professional selling plan for USA. You can, downgrade in Canada to the individual, but eventually you do want to expand into selling in Canada, the UK, Australia. These are the top next markets to go into. But here's what you need to sign up for your seller account. To sign up under your personal name and details, which is fine. You'll need a driver's license or passport, credit card in your name, bank account statement in your name, social security or tax ID number, and the name and address. The name and address on your photo ID needs to match your credit card name and your bank account statement name. So the name on your photo ID and address needs to match the bank account statement name and address exactly. It's okay for those of you who don't have an LLC yet to just go ahead, or you're located outside the US, you don't have an LLC or company in the US yet. It's okay to sign up for your seller account in your personal name and details to start with. Then you can switch it over later to the LLC or business or company or corporation once you have these things: LLC corporation registration number, business LLC bank account statement, business LLC credit card, EIN number for the business or LLC from the IRS. S Corp is a tax status. Highly recommend S Corp. I love S Corp because although I have multiple LLCs, I'm registered as an S Corp tax status wise, because I pay much less taxes as an S Corp. I pay myself a salary and distributions. I don't get taxed on the distributions, and I don't have to pay payroll taxes on the distributions. I have to do both of those on a salary, and you basically pay tax twice on all your income if you have just an LLC. So definitely talk to a CPA, accountant. There's some really good ones on Upwork and Fiverr to help you do taxes for your business. That's really important. I used QuickBooks in the beginning, QuickBooks for all of my accounting and bookkeeping, to keep things organized. Expenses are very important, to keep track of your expenses as an Amazon seller, to know your profit and loss statement. You want to keep track of all your fees that you're paying Amazon, advertising fees, placement fees, promotional fees, all these types of things. For paying the correct amount of taxes on your income. You don't want to pay taxes on your revenue. That would be bad. All right, finding a manufacturer. Is China still the best place to find a manufacturer? The answer is yes. So although I have sourced products in India, the shipping is double. Basically, shipping from India or Vietnam, the product price is great. Suppliers are fine, but shipping is about double. It's coming further. There's not as many ships coming from that part of the world to the US. So your shipping costs typically are going to be much higher. Do I recommend sourcing products in the USA? Not necessarily. USA suppliers are very expensive. They're very limited on what they can do. So although if you want to look for suppliers in the USA, you certainly can. Even Mexico is up and coming. I think that will potentially become a good place, but it's just still very limited. So China still offers the best prices. China usually offers the best MOQ, minimum order quantity. You only have to order 300 to 1,000 units. Chinese suppliers, real manufacturers, have the capability to customize and improve your product. And Alibaba makes it easy to find, contact, and discuss your product and order with suppliers. I use WhatsApp, email, and Alibaba for talking with my suppliers. And during the evening time is the best because it's the next day there in China. Always order 2 to 4 custom samples from a few different suppliers to check quality. Your sample needs to have your brand logo on it and the customizations made, as many as possible. But having your logo put on your sample is very important for brand approval. You'll get the final supplier purchase order agreement signed. You'll pay the 30% deposit via an Alibaba Trade Assurance order payment link, and then you'll pay that other 70% balance after the inspection passes. Always get a third-party professional inspection. I use Inspect Demand, logo, and even an inspection on your second order from the same supplier. I once skipped an inspection on my third order from the same supplier. Well, they used a cheaper material, and I had to recall all 1,000 units because they used a cheaper material. They thought it would be fine, but it ended up failing. The product would fail when customers went to use it. And so, I skipped the inspection. I could have paid $165. I ended up having to lose thousands of dollars because that inventory was basically worthless. So always get a third-party inspection, even on your third order from the same supplier. Logo is printed, etched, or engraved on your product and packaging. Each product needs to be individually packaged in a box for Amazon. And on that box, you need your logo, custom box design if you're doing one, the FNSKU barcode, which you get after creating the listing, and made in China is on your product box. Shipping the product to Amazon, I use Wendy and Michelle. They're my freight forwarders, shipping agents in China. Highly recommend hiring a freight forwarder to handle your DDP shipping from China to USA. I don't recommend using your supplier for DDP shipping because if anything goes wrong, it's hard for them to take responsibility. They're just going to transfer you over to the freight forwarder they use. And then the freight forwarder is going to say, well, I've never dealt with you before. Contact the supplier. So it's a back and forth. So hire your own freight forwarder. You want to reach out to multiple because each will have a little bit different price and shipping time. Get quotes from both for pickup and DDP shipping from your factory in China to the Amazon warehouse. As a new seller, you can go ahead and ship 1,000 units directly to Amazon. You don't need a 3PL. Shipping options, there's air shipping DDP, which is around $10 a kilo right now. Fast sea shipping DDP, which takes anywhere from 23 days to 35 days. It's around $1.9 to $2.5 per kilo. And for normal sea shipping, which is like 30 to 50 days, it's around $1.5 to $2 per kilo. At this time, at this point, you'll also want to make sure you've selected a good brand name. Make sure it's available on Trademarkia. We want no other trademarks on that brand. We want to get a professional logo done on Fiverr for your brand. We want to get your thank you card design, product insert card design. This is a little 4x6 inch card that we include inside your product. I'll talk about this more in just a few minutes. You send the packaging design, box design to your supplier. You send all these to your supplier who will print out the boxes, print out the thank you cards, print out the print logo on product, do a logo on packaging, then send them the FNSKU that goes on your product box. And then you'll enter the FBA shipping plan to get your FBA carton labels that go on your master shipping cartons. All right, guys, we're about 75% of the way there, and then I'll open it up for questions, okay? So thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate each one of you. I'm going to get to all your questions here shortly. Well, creating the product listing is the next step. What do you need to actually create the product listing? You need a GS1 barcode, 1 GTIN for $30, or 10 UPCs for $250. On GS1, it's very important that for company name and prefix name that you enter your brand name, because Amazon's going to check that. And inside GS1 your account, you need to add your product and brand, assign the barcode to the product. Amazon's system automatically checks the GS1 database to make sure your product is there and your brand matches that barcode number. Title, you'll want a finalized product title, 200 characters or less, and contains the top 3 to 5 keywords, left to right in importance. So title, 200 characters, contains the top 3 to 4 main keywords, left to right. Ideally, you have like 2 to 3 of those main keywords in the first half of your title. And you also want the title to sound convincing to get customers to actually click on it. So, the first half of your title, let's say it's very keyword oriented, but then the second half of your title, it's very salesy. So talk about some main selling features, benefits, uses, solution it solves, that kind of stuff. Other thing you'll need is brand approval from Amazon. You get this by submitting multiple support tickets, showing your product with logo, packaging with logo if you have it, and a website if you have one set up. Shopify is what I recommend for building your website. GoDaddy for buying your domain for your brand. Listing, next you'll want to get professional listing images done. Finish writing your 5 to 6 bullet points. Finish writing your description. Enter all your keywords throughout your listing. You'll have time though. See, we're waiting for the product to be shipped to Amazon for about 30 to 50 days. And so you'll have all that time to get your photos done, finish your title, do your bullet points, write your copy and your description, get a short video done and images, that kind of stuff. When should you create the listing? You want to wait to the very end of production to enter the listing. You only want around 30 to 40 days in between when you create your listing and when the products arrive to Amazon for the best honeymoon period possible. The honeymoon period, for those of you guys who don't know, is the first 2 to 3 weeks after you launch the product and go live, where Amazon's going to give you an extra boost. They're going to promote your product more in the search results. So you want to take full advantage, driving as many sales, organic, PPC sales, sales velocity, getting reviews, and ranking as possible. And you can launch as soon as you see the listing is active and you have 30 to 100 units checked in. Product launch strategies. Keywords are so important. I talked about this. Maldives honeymoon period launch strategy is working the best right now. I recently made a brand new video on my YouTube channel. Make sure to check that out, where I break down how I launched a brand new product. It's over $5,000. It's done already in about 3 weeks. But Maldives launch strategy basically includes keyword research, listing optimization, search, find, buy purchases, having all these keywords in your PPC campaigns. That's kind of the bulk of Maldives launch strategy. It's still working the best right now for launching new products. You can take a screenshot of this if you need to review the Maldives launch strategy. Amazon PPC advertising is pretty much required. This is Amazon pay-per-click. There's several different types of PPC campaigns. There's automatic campaigns where you just put in a budget and a bid, and Amazon's going to go out there and advertise your product for you. There's manual keyword targeting campaigns where you're putting in specific keywords as broad match, phrase match, or exact match, and targeting those keywords. Ideally, these should be the same keywords that are in your listing. There's also manual product targeting campaigns. This is where you put in ASINs of your competitors to target on your product on their listing. And then there's manual category targeting. This is where you target a whole category and can certainly be helpful for finding low-cost ASINs. So for launch, you want to launch, to rank, to start getting reviews, to start getting as much data on profitable keywords and ASINs. These are the goals of Amazon PPC. You want to set up for launch 4 to 6 automatic campaigns. You'll do like a launch campaign with all 4 targeting groups. You'll do an auto close match campaign. You'll do an auto loose match campaign. You'll do an auto subs campaign, substitutes. You'll do an auto compliments campaign. Those are all individual auto campaigns. There's 5 automatics for launch, anywhere from $20 to a $50 a day budget. And then you'll set up 3 to 10 manual campaigns, keyword targeting. This includes like 1 to 3 manual exact match campaigns with just 1 to 2 or 3 keywords in each manual exact campaign. You'll set up 2 to 3 broad matched campaigns with 10 keywords in each, 5 to 10 keywords in each. 1, 2, 3 different broad campaigns. You'll set up 1 to 3 different phrase campaigns, 5 to 10 keywords only in the broad and phrase. You'll run the same keywords that you do in broad and phrase. Exact match, only 1 to 3 keywords. Use placements to drive more top of search and product pages to see what works best. I recommend setting up 2 to 5 product or ASIN targeting campaigns. Target your top competitors' ASINs. You want to target competitors' listings that you have a good chance of making a sale off of. So don't, target competitors with 1,000 reviews, 4.5 star average, and at a lower price than you. There's hardly any chance you're going to make a sale off their listing unless you really differentiated your product, super well. And then 1 to 2 category targeting. Also on product targeting, ASIN targeting campaigns, guys, look at the expanded option inside when you set up your campaign. They have a new feature called expanded, and look at your auto campaigns, the search terms. You're going to find ASINs that you never thought of to target. You may be selling a cell phone case, but you find out that a cell phone stand, customers are buying, looking at a stand, and then they find your case and want to buy that at the same time. So you'd want to target those ASINs as well, not just your competitors. And the auto campaign will help you find those ASINs, and you'll pick them out, your competitors, off page 1, and target those ASINs. And then category targeting is where you can just put in a whole category and target, let's say, competitors that have under a 4-star average and a higher price than you. That works really well to find good ASINs. Couple more slides, guys, and then we're going to questions. How to get reviews. Customer reviews equal ranking better, critical for launch. Best ways to get reviews: thank you card product insert. A really good thank you card product insert. You should connect with the customer on an emotional level. 2, free gift. Include a small surprise gift inside your product. This could include, I'm a perfectionist. I have to change that. A free surprise gift inside your product. This can include, like in your listing, you tell the customer they're getting 4 bags, but you include 2 extra bags in there that they're not expecting. And then on your insert card, you say, surprise, we hope you enjoy your 2 extra bags. It would mean the world to us if you could leave us a review. That's allowed. You just can't say, I'm only going to give you those 2 bags if you leave me a review. That's not allowed. You can't incentivize reviews. So the free gift, an ebook, warranty, discount code, needs to be offered to all customers, regardless if they leave you a review or not. But doing this, guys, including a small free gift or extra items in with your product, is one of the best ways to increase your reviews and get positive reviews, because customers love getting more than they paid for. Helium 10 follow-up tool, you can automatically send a follow-up email or request that customers go back and write a review for you 5 days after delivery, 7 days after delivery. Give the customer a chance to use it. And then finally, the Amazon buying program. This will help you get your first 20 to 30 reviews, but it can take 3 to 5 weeks. How to scale to 15 to 35 sales a day. It all comes down to 2 or 3 main factors. 1, ranking for your main keywords. Rank for the longer tail keywords first, 15 to 30 longer tail keywords, rank for those. Then start going after the bigger keywords next. These include broader keywords, like keywords that have the word decor, gifts. These are general keywords. You go after those next. PPC, dialing in your campaigns. Going back to 1, ranking for your main keywords. You do this by having the keywords in throughout your listing, in your title, bullets, back-end search terms, in all your PPC campaigns. That's how you rank for your keywords. PPC campaigns, working to optimize on your campaigns, every 3 to 7 days, I'm in there working on the campaigns, adjusting the spend, budget, bids, placement bids, gathering the search term reports, downloading the search term reports, and analyzing, okay, these keywords and ASINs are working really well. I'm going to adjust my bid a little bit higher on those and maybe put them into their own campaign. But these keywords or search terms or ASINs are wasting money. Do I decrease the bid based on the data? Or do I decrease the bid? Or do I shut them off entirely? It just depends on the data. Not running out of stock is important. If you do run out of stock, try to only be out of stock for no more than 2 or 3 weeks. Continue to get positive customer reviews and feedback. don't get a lot of returns, don't get a lot of bad reviews. Hopefully there's no issues with your product, like customers are missing pieces. This can affect your NCX rating. You want to watch that. And then start posting on your social media pages for your brand. Launching your second product. When is good to launch your second product? I would say around month 3. After you launch your first product, you've ranked it well, it's generating consistent, revenue and profits. That's one of the best times to launch your second product. The best way to launch a second product is called the variation. This can be a new color, design, quantity, or item name. You already have the supplier set up. You just create a new listing for this new variation, then you'll link it up to the current listing via a parent listing. And now you have one listing the customer lands on, but they have 2 options, 2 variations to choose from. They can choose this ASIN or this ASIN. The new variation gets a new honeymoon period, which is wonderful, but the new variation can rank individually. And the first product, if it's selling really well, can actually help boost the second product, okay? And if it's a super close variation, like just a color or design, you can actually put it in the same campaigns, same PPC campaigns. Example of a variation here is this in table. You can see down here, they have 2 different types of variations. You can do that. They have package quantity, 1 or 2 pack. That's the first type of variation they have. They created 2 listings, 1 for the 1 pack, 1 listing for the 2 pack. And then down here, they have 3 different colors, actually 4, but 3 available right now. They have rustic brown and black. They have like a gray, and then they have an all black. Those are color variations. And you can see here, the customer's on one listing, but they can choose, do they want a 1 pack or 2 pack? They can also choose, do they want black, gray, rustic brown and black, or white? Okay, guys, next steps. I do want to talk about my mentorship and coaching. So you've listened to me, you've heard some of my story. You know that Amazon can help you become financially free, but what do you do next? Because this was a lot of information. I highly recommend joining my mentorship program. I offer a couple different options for mentorship and coaching, including my 6 to 8 week mentorship. This is the most popular. This comes with 6 Zoom calls, one-on-one with me, my step-by-step coaching by email and messenger, as well as lifetime access to Noonan University. You get all of that with 100 plus videos, 25 other resources in the very last section. All of that comes with my 6-week mentorship. I also have my 60-day mentorship. That just comes with 2 additional calls. So you get 8 calls instead of 6. That's the 60-day mentorship. And then for those of you who would like completely automated Amazon business, me to find, launch, set up the brand, launch the brand, that's the done for you option as well. So make sure to check out those. You can go to noonanuniversity.com or noonanuniversity.com/mentorship to check those out. I'll also try to send a follow-up email for those of you who joined and registered for the training today. Thank you for watching. Look forward to continuing providing you value however I can, whether you join my mentorship or you just continue supporting me on social media. So thank you. Let's open it up for questions. All right, guys, go ahead and enter your questions here. I'm going to be taking questions. I'm just opening up the chat now. Let's get into questions. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's jump into it. So the first one is, hi, I'm looking at launching my first product, but I'm not sure if I should order 500 units or 1,000. I don't want to eat up most of my cash. Okay, so the best thing to do to figure out how many units you should order is by looking at your competitors' listings on page 1, sales column. Are they making, majority making an average of 300 to 600 sales a month, or are they making 600 to 2,000 sales a month? Typically, guys, you can't go wrong with about 500 units as your starting order. That's a good starting order. 500 units, I always come back to as a good starting order. But if it's a cheaper item, that sells for $22 or $22.99 or $19.99, and it's doing 1,000 sales a month, you may want to order 700, 800 to not run out of stock. And then also you have to plan around holidays in China, like Chinese New Year. No orders go in, no orders go out for February. Lee, thank you very much. Brian is brilliant with Helium 10. Thousands rely on Brian's support. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Lee, for being here. Christopher, thank you for joining. Brian, can you please explain how the buy box works? who owns the buy box and how can we protect our IP from other vendors, including adding themselves as a seller on our listing? Good question. So this comes down, buy box. What is the buy box? When you're on any product listing, on the right-hand side, you see the add to cart button or buy now. Basically, the buy box means when the customer presses add to cart or buy now, you should get the sale. You should always get the sale as the seller. If somebody takes the buy box from you, that means that when the customer is pressing buy now, you're not getting the sale. How does that happen? Well, Amazon likes to give the buy box to whatever seller has the lowest price and whatever seller has the fastest shipping times to the customer. So lowest price, fastest shipping time to the customer. So it also depends on the customer's location. So me on the West Coast, you could own the buy box, but a customer on the East Coast could see the hijacker, the other seller has the buy box on your listing. So unfortunately, Amazon, does make it pretty easy for other sellers to jump on your listing. It's our job to do a couple of things. Make your product hard to replicate or find or get manufactured. Always have your brand name on your products. File a trademark on your brand and get brand registry. All of these things help. As far as the IP protection, you really can't create an IP infringement case against the other seller until your trademark is officially published. However, you can do a test buy. A test buy is where you buy the other seller's or hijacker's product, get it to your house, take pictures of it, and create a support ticket with Amazon Brand Registry and show them, hey, here's our product, here's the other seller's product. It's totally not our product. We can no longer, and talk from the customer's point of view, we can no longer guarantee the quality of our product, and we can't offer our manufacturer warranty. Those two things. We can't guarantee the quality to our customers, and we can't offer our manufacturer warranty if the other seller is selling the product, because we don't know where it's from. It's fake, okay? So that's going to be really important. So test buy. Also, cease and desist letter. You want to keep sending those both to their email and to their mailing address, which you can find by clicking their seller name, their company name, seller name on Amazon. Send a cease and desist letter officially, a signed copy in the mail directly to their mailing address. And inside there, even though your trademark isn't officially registered or published yet, I would still include the registration number. That will help. So also keep the price low. Monitor your listing every hour if you have to. Keep the price under the hijacker's price to always win the buy box. So price always lower than theirs. Test buy, brand support tickets showing the differences, cease and desist letter, trademark and brand registry. Those are the best things you can do. Okay, so good. So Lee says we did the test buy and the listing disappeared. It said they only had one left in stock. That's wonderful to hear. I'm happy that they're gone. They may come back though. What's hard to say about hijackers, sometimes it can be the manufacturer in China or a different manufacturer who jumps on your listing. It's going to be very difficult to buy out all their inventory because you don't know how many products they have. Other times though, it's just like a reseller who maybe bought your product on sale. One time you ran a deal and they bought 10 of them. And so they just get on your listing and they have 8 left that they want to sell on your listing for a small profit. So that can happen too. So it really just depends. Is it like a Chinese seller that has thousands of products they can make right away and ship on your listing to customers and they'll be there for a long time? Or is it just like a reseller who just has 10 units laying around of your product that they got on discount? Now they want to sell it for a profit. I appreciate it. This webinar be posted on YouTube. Yes, Adam, this webinar will be posted on my YouTube channel, and I'll also try to put it up on my website as well. Valuable videos and content. Can't wait to launch my first product. I mean, you're done for your service. Greetings from Tahiti. Frederick, it's wonderful seeing you here. Thank you for such a kind comment. I'm really, really excited to get your first product launched. Things have been moving slower than I would have liked. However, we want to make sure the product will stand out, that we have a really good manufacturer, and I'm really excited for you to see. I know how well the product will do, just spending the extra time getting it right. And we should be moving along here really, really shortly. We're only a week away from moving into the next steps, including placing the order, creating the listing, getting images done. We'll be about halfway at that point. Should I do brand registry right after I launch my first product? What if the product is not selling well? What should I do if I'm just testing it out? If you're doing just a test listing with just 10 units, you really don't need to get brand approval or brand registry or have your brand name on the listing. You can just put generic or this product doesn't have a brand. You never want to do that, though, on an official listing you plan to sell. So test listing, it's all right to put generic or this doesn't have a brand. Only on your test listing, because what a test listing is you're just doing 10 units, you're creating a listing to see how it sells, but then you're never selling on that listing again. You delete it or close it. Then you create an official listing because you'd be out of stock for too long, waiting for another 500 units. So you create a brand new listing for a new honeymoon period. So for a test listing, it's okay to use a random generic brand. You don't need brand registry. You don't need brand approval. For an official listing, I recommend getting your brand trademark and then apply for brand registry, either right after you create your listing and you have your listing entered in your seller account, or right after you launch. If the product is not selling well, I would still do this process because maybe the first product doesn't sell well, but you should have chosen a good brand name that you can launch other products under that brand. Because once you file your trademark on your brand, and get brand registry, you can launch with whatever product you want in whatever category. Legally, though, your trademark will not protect you. You have to get a new classification fee. But on Amazon, you're welcome to launch other products, even in a different category, under the same brand. I was told not to run an auto campaign on a new product. It's best after 3 to 4 months of launch. I've never found that to be the case. Automatic campaigns are critical for a product launch for a couple of different reasons. Number one, to gather keywords and ASINs that convert, that are profitable. Yes, we can use helium-10 and cerebro and magnet and guess which keywords are the best, but we don't really know if those keywords are going to convert. And you can spend a lot of money and waste a lot of money fast going after the wrong keywords. So automatic campaigns are critical for gathering data on profitable keywords and ASINs, for launching and ranking the product, getting those initial sales velocity, for getting reviews. So I would always launch with automatic campaigns, but just setting up one campaign is not enough. You want to set up at least 5 automatic campaigns. Let's take some more questions here. Thank you guys for hanging in here. You guys are troopers. All right, Youll, thank you for being here. Can you replay this masterclass? It's late in my time zone. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It'll be reposted right here on my YouTube channel. Best tips for ads. My best tips for Amazon PPC ads are the following. It's a lot of testing. And running Amazon PPC ads, it really just comes down to a lot of testing. But the fundamentals never change. You should always be setting up automatic campaigns. You should always be setting up manual PPC campaigns and product targeting campaigns. The best tips would be to use placements. A lot of sellers don't know how to use or even what are placements. So use placement bids. That's going to be very, very helpful. You want to make sure that you're creating for your manual campaigns. You want to make sure you're creating multiple different manual campaigns based on 2 things: match type and search volume. You don't want a manual campaign that has exact keywords with broad keywords and phrase keywords. You don't want all 3 match types in the same campaign. Create separate manual campaigns for each match type. So exact should be their own campaigns. Broad should be their own campaigns. Phrase should be their own campaign. So that's number 1. And number 2 is search volumes. You want to break up your keywords by search volume. So for example, broad campaign number 1, 10 keywords with 500 to 5,000 search volume. That's broad 1, low search volume. Broad number 2, 5 to 10 keywords with 6,000 to 16,000 search volume. That's mid search volume range. And then broad campaign number 3 is 5 to 10 keywords with 17,000 to 27,000 search volume. So separate campaigns based on match type and search volumes. Use placements and optimize often. Don't over optimize. You want to let your campaigns go for 2 weeks, but you want to be in there adjusting your budgets, placement bids using negative targeting in autos frequently. You also do not need to negative target keywords in a manual that you have running in an auto. You only really need to use negative targeting in automatic campaigns on unprofitable keywords. In a manual campaign, just switch off the keyword or reduce the bid by half inside a manual. The only time I use negative targeting in a manual in an auto is if the keyword becomes unprofitable, or I'm running an exact match campaign with a super high budget or a bid, then I may negative it in my auto or other manuals. Thank you for being here, Tool. Thank you for being here, Natasha. Okay, listing problem. Why am my listing not showing up inside management, even though it's successfully created, it did not show? Usually what's happening when your listing doesn't go through is the following. One, there's an account level issue, like your seller account needs to be re-verified. You don't have brand approval. Your ability to create listings is temporarily on hold. That's one issue, the seller account, there's an issue. The other issue it could be is an error within creating the listing. Amazon system should be displaying a red error message, not letting you create the listing. If it's letting you create the listing, but never showing up inside your manage inventory page, make sure you don't have any filters checked. You know, like make sure you're looking at all inventory, not FBA inventory, and make sure you don't have the little button check that's active. Like you don't want to look at active listings. You want to look at all listings. So check your filters. And then finally, if it's still not working, Amazon seller support will be the best next step. The catalog team. You want the catalog team, the leadership team. What is the usual CTR number? Great question. Great question. What is CTR? CTR is click-through rate. When you're running PPC campaigns, all campaigns have CTR on them. All targeting groups have CTR on them. All keywords have CTR on them. All placements have groups have placements on them or CTR on them. So what is a good CTR? In the beginning, try to get a 1% CTR or higher, 1% or higher. That would be really good. Once you've been running the campaigns for 2 to 4 weeks or more, 2 to 3% CTR or more should be your target. So in the beginning, aim for 1%. If all your campaigns don't have a 1% CTR or more, there's an issue with your listing. Your price is too high. Your main image is not good. You need to make your title more appealing, or you need to get more positive reviews. So those are the main things that affect CTR. Price, use coupons as well, and lower pricing strategy. Main image, test different main images. Make sure it's the best main image on the whole page. Title, make sure it's both optimized and sounds appealing to get customers to want to click on it, especially the first 80 characters of your title. Because that's all mobile shoppers see is the first 80 characters. So optimize for mobile your title. And then reviews. If you don't have many reviews under 5, expect a very low CTR. But if all your campaigns are not at 1% CTR under, or like let's say 0.75 and higher, you need to make some adjustments to your listing. Okay, taking some more questions. April, thank you. I appreciate your support. April does such a wonderful job for me helping manage the Facebook group and is a wonderful admin assistant. Okay, guys, well, let me check the Zoom here and see if anybody else has any questions. Erica, thank you for being here. Lisa, thank you for being here. What's the website for the mentorship program? NoonanUniversity.com. NoonanUniversity.com/mentorship. So NoonanUniversity.com/mentorship. I can try to link that either in the chat. I'll try to add it to the chat here and pin it. NoonanUniversity.com/mentorship. On there, you're going to see my different mentorship options, okay? Including the 6-week program, which is more like 8 weeks because it's flexible, right? It's not just going to be a dead stop. I'm very flexible on that. I understand there'll be delays. We have Chinese New Year, so you're able to use those 6 Zoom calls as you need them. You don't have to meet every single week if you haven't got things done, you haven't been able to spend time, that kind of stuff. And then also I wanted to mention, I do have 2 spots coming open in November. 2 spots available for my Done For You service. I will have 2 spots available in November. Now that is a totally automated system. My Done For You service is completely unique because I only charge a fee. I don't take any of your business. All other Done For You services out there are going to take 40 to 60% of your Amazon business. And a lot of them take 40% of your revenue, not just profits. Meaning most Done For You services out there charge a huge fee. Then they're going to take 40% of your business and revenues, which means if you do $100 in revenue, but your profit is 0, they still get paid $40. So I didn't like that. So that's why I did something totally different. And I only charged the fee for the Done For You service. And it's been way more successful than I ever thought, or more popular than I ever thought. And I'm seeing a lot of success for my students, my Done For You clients and students in there. You can find, where can I find more information on the Done For You service? That will also be on my website. You'll be able to see that as an option. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll be able to see the option there for that. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to wrap up here pretty soon unless there's any more questions. I know it was a lot going over in this training and webinar, but that's really how you get to your first 10,000. There was a lot of information there, but I had to share, you know, really the strategies that are working the best right now, what I'm seeing, you know, actually make my students money and what products are doing well for me. Just checking some questions here. All right, we have another question. What are placements? Placements, okay, placements are inside PPC. You have, for any automatic or manual campaign, you can do placements, which is top of search placement or product pages placement. When you run Amazon PPC, there's only a couple places Amazon's advertising your product, right? They're either advertising your product at the top of the first page, in the video sponsored brand ad, at the bottom of page 2, or maybe at the bottom of page 1, or maybe at the top of page 2, or maybe on your competitors' listings under sponsored products related to this one. What you can do with placements is tell Amazon, okay, for launch especially, I'm willing to give you 100% more on my bid if you promote me more at the top of the page, first page. Or maybe your product, you did a better product than your competitors, so it's going to do well against your competitors because it's clearly better. This is working really well for me. So my products, so product pages, I'm willing to give you 75% more or 50% more on my bid, Amazon, if you promote me more and show my ad more on my competitors' listings. That's product pages. Then there's rest of search, which is like top of page 2, bottom of page 1. That's rest of search, but we can't do any placements there yet. Amazon may open that up, but they haven't yet. Okay, another question here. I have 500 campaigns set up, which are eating up cash. I can no longer afford to waste so much money. Should I turn off the campaigns that are wasting money? Will it not affect my ranking? Okay, so if you have that many campaigns going, it's going to take a lot of work to go through there, and I don't know how frequently you're optimizing them. Atomic would help kind of automate some of the optimization of your bids, finding good search terms. So I would use Atomic to help you manage all those campaigns. But can you turn off the campaigns entirely? I never recommend turning off PPC overall. It's just not a good option. You should be driving sales with PPC. Your campaign should be profitable. You should rank organically for your main keywords. The only time I would shut off PPC is if the keyword or ASIN or campaign is incredibly unprofitable. You can switch off that keyword or ASIN or negative target it. If you're ranked organically for the keyword, can you turn off running that keyword in PPC? It just depends on how long you've been ranked for that keyword. Sometimes if you've been ranked for over 4 weeks, you're ranked organically in the top 3 or 4 or 5 spots for that keyword, you can slowly start cutting back on your bid on that keyword in PPC. But if it's profitable, you don't want to shut it off. Go ahead and target being in the sponsored position and being in the organic position both. You might as well dominate more positions on page 1. So overall, I never recommend shutting off PPC. Best is to optimize and cut out what's unprofitable and wasting money. If you've been at this for a long time, let's say over a year, and the campaigns, none of them are profitable, the product's not profitable, I would no longer sell that product. I'd move on to the next one. Okay, guys, what should we do to be eligible for product lightning deals? Yeah, this is really up to Amazon. Some ASINs will be eligible for lightning deals, others won't. It depends on your selling history. Typically, you need 30 days of pricing and selling history. So some selling history, 30 days of consistent selling, and price. You do need to kind of, before you set up the lightning deal, be thinking about setting up a lightning deal and have a little bit higher price set than versus where you want to sell that, because Amazon's going to go, I think it's 10 or 15 or maybe it's even 20% off your standard price or average price over the last 30 days. So you want to be thinking about that if you're considering running a lightning deal. Just keep checking inside lightning deals, promotions, lightning deals, entering your ASIN to see if you're eligible. But before that, 30 days worth of selling history and pricing history, and try to have your price a little higher before you go ahead and run that lightning deal, because Amazon's going to have you move down your price. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap up there. Thank you for hanging in there. This has been wonderful to connect with you, and I really appreciate everyone for joining me today. Hope you learned something. This replay and webinar and training will be reposted onto my YouTube channel and possibly even my website as well. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you again on my next training and on my next live. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I'll see you next time.